Hi, so today I want to talk about the concept of artificial intelligence, and more specifically superintelligence. So, one of the most powerful tools, one of the things that has made the most changes in our world ever, is of course the human brain. And as far as we know right now, at the moment, the most complex object in the entire universe is the human brain, which is beautiful and magnificent in its complexity and what arises from it, our internal experience of consciousness and the thought patterns and all of the feelings and things we can feel and think. It's truly fascinating that we live in a world where this is possible. So, intelligence, I would say, is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. So, if we could make an artificial intelligence system that is as smart as us or smarter, then that would change everything. So currently the way we look at AI, artificial intelligence, AI, is that we have narrow AI and general AI. So most of the AI systems on today on planet Earth that we have are narrow AI systems. So systems that are really good at doing one specific task. So narrow AIs for facial recognition, narrow AIs for translating things, making Google searches, self-driving cars, bank transactions, trading stock exchanges, many kind of things, image recognition, many kind of things that is one particular task, and these systems do them and they do them really well, but you ask them to do anything else and they can't do it, so it's only one single purpose. If you have a computer program that plays chess better than any human being, and you ask it to complete or finish a sentence in English, it has no idea what to do. So narrow but really good. So we can have this sort of a picture of kind of a field of general intelligence. So we as human beings, this is our intellect, and there are kind of some bumps. We're not really good at maths, but we know mathematics. We're good at language and social stuff and things like that. And you can look at this as a kind of a landscape, and then we can picture AI as also being in this landscape. And let's say mathematics, it's just one spike, huge spike in mathematics, super intelligence in mathematics, but everything else is zero. But we have more and more these spikes coming up in this intelligence landscape, so more and more systems that can do more and more things. And the dream is to get to not narrow AI that's just great at doing one thing, but general AI. So all of the things in the field of intellect, emotional, intellectual, everything that we as human beings do, general intelligence, everything we use our brains for, this AI system would be able to do. And then we would call it artificial general intelligence. So we could also make a distinction between two types of different intelligence. One would be speed intelligence, and speed intelligence would be, let's say, the same intellect as a human being, but just, let's say, 1,000, 10,000, or 1,000,000 times faster. So the capacity of solving problems would be the same, but the speed of solving those problems would be just much, much, much faster. When you would need to think hours for something, for this AI system, speed AI, it would take a fraction of a second to come to the conclusion that you would have come thinking like months and weeks about something. And another thing is quality AI. So quality AI would be fundamentally different and something where things start to get interesting, because quality AI is another step in problem solving capacity. If we look at speed AI, if we look at the animal world, let's say we look at the apes or chimps, and if we give chimps the augmentations somehow technologically for them, for their brains to work 1,000 times faster or 1,000,000 times faster for the brain of an ape, and if we give it the problem that a human could do but a normal ape couldn't do, even if its brain works 1,000,000 times faster, which is incredible in its everyday normal life, it would be a super intelligent ape, and it would just dominate over all of the other apes, because speed increase is such a critical thing in fighting, collecting food, getting mates, whatever they need to do is incredible advantage. But you give it some kind of a puzzle that requires a higher level of quality intellect, and no matter how much time you give this ape, even with its 1,000,000 times faster brain, it cannot simply solve the problem, because No matter how much time you give it, its speed is not enough. For some problems that get more and more complex, you need something different. You need quality intelligence. So quality intellect is the type of intellect that allows you to solve more complex problems. We could look at the difference between us and great apes of being like 1%. So, we have some thoughts and ideas that they couldn't comprehend of, and only 1% different of us. So let's think of a being that's 1% different from us in that same kind of direction, and what kind of thoughts and things and ideas would go on in its head that we could at the moment not comprehend, and that we would call increasing quality intelligence, just the raw power of solving problems. So super intelligence is fascinating. Artificial general intelligence, no one knows exactly how it will go, and how far we are. There's a lot of different varying opinions. Some people greatly underestimate the development of AI. Some people greatly overestimate. Some people think working on it, think it's like 5-10 years till we get to human level intelligence. Some people think 50 years. Some people think 100. Some people think never. I don't hold any strong opinion. I think the best we could do is hold this same cognitive dissonant thoughts in our head that it might as well happen tomorrow or it might as well happen in 100 years. But definitely, unless there is something really surprising about the laws of physics or how intelligence works, there is no reason to think why we couldn't get there. So, the moment that we build a system that is artificial general intelligence, it would be as smart as any human being on the planet. So that is great. And it would have already by default super intelligent capacities in the things that computers already are great at. So mathematics, memory, connecting faster to all kinds of devices, all of those kinds of things. This general intelligence would already be superhuman at, including all of the stuff that we can already do. And it has the freedom, if you give it that freedom, it has the freedom to change its hardware and software. So once it gets to this kind of level, it could start to look at itself and say, okay, I can change some things around about me, how I'm configured, my hardware, and make itself faster. It can look at its software, its programming, its code, and it can find out, it can take out bugs, it can enter new lines, it can make its software more efficient. So it makes itself smarter, and then it's smarter, and then it's even better at making itself smarter. And then there is this debate going on, would this lead to an intelligence explosion? So you get better at making yourself better, and then you're even better at making yourself better, and so on and so on. And where is the limit in that, and how far you can go like that, and how long time does it take? Is it a matter of minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, a few years? That's incredible. The most amazing part is that we live in a time where it's conceivable, where we could look to the future and imagine the possibility of creating these systems. We are not as far as many people think, but there are many breakthroughs needed, of course, to get to such a point, and a different topic of architectures of how to build these types of systems. But once we get this intellect that could really rapidly gain even more intelligence, and if we align its values with humanity, what we really, really, really want, not just superficially that we want the world to be a better place, which could backfire in many ways, but truly if the AI understands exactly what we mean, that truly all of humankind, every single member of humankind will benefit from the creation and actions of this AI. So if that is embedded in that, then anything that we worry about, anything that we are working, any problems that we are fixing on solving, medicine, aging, diseases, pollution, how to get energy, how to make more food, how to let more people live on this planet, space exploration, getting more resources, better technology, all of this artificial intelligence could do. So once we have this AI system, this is said that it would be the last invention that we would ever need to make, because we use the human brain, our intellect, to do and solve all of the problems we have. And once we have something that is better than us at solving these problems, then this is of course also an interesting philosophical question. What's the place in human beings in this world? I think the world can be way more wonderful and meaningful than it is now. I think it's just egoistic and kind of petty for us to think, oh, we can't have things that are smarter than us. But that's a really interesting question. What it does to our mentality once there is a being that we create that is smarter than us. Like, not just a bit smarter, but way smarter. What that does to our egos. But I think if it's done well, and many smart people are working on the safety issue, how to do it well, if it's done well, then this truly can be one of the breakthroughs in human history. End of the slavery of work, end of so much suffering that is going on in the world, empowering people to do what we want and to reach our highest potential. AI, if done well, it would enable us to live that kind of life and to live in that kind of world. So that is wonderful. There is so much attention, and I have brought so much attention and made videos about the possible negative impacts of AI. But I think it's important to keep in mind also the huge, tremendous possibilities of the positive sides of how the world can change, which is incredible and not talked about enough. Like, after all, this is the reason why we are working on it and thinking and trying to build these systems, is because the reward for doing so and creating the system is so great once we actually get there and make it happen. So these are just some thoughts on artificial general intelligence, how and why and what, and why it would be such an important thing. Intelligence, really powerful force that makes a lot of things happen. So I hope you got something interesting from this video. If you have any thoughts, please share them in the comments. And of course, thank you so much for watching, and take care.